Movie production is often viewed as a well-oiled machine on tight, strict schedules for everyone included. It often leads moviegoers to assume everything happens precisely as planned, but that isn't always the case. Improvised scenes usually happen when an actor truly transforms into their character and reacts to any given situation as said character. Unscripted scenes give movies a more honest feel and leave the viewers remembering the film. And more often than not, they can spark an emotion from laughter to sadness, and everything in between. Check out these 10 hilarious movie moments you didn't know were improvised.
How do you like them apples?
Robin Williams and Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's critically acclaimed film Good Will Hunting had its very own hilarious improv scene. The sequence features whiz kid Will Hunting, played by Matt Damon, at one of his many therapy sessions with therapist Shaun, played by Robin Williams. In order to get Hunting to open up emotionally, Maguire recalls a memory about his late wife and her gassy habits.
Used to fart in the sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you.
But what you may not have known is the entire story was made up by Williams mid-scene, and Damon's laugh is 100% genuine. Although Williams earned his first and only Academy Award for his role, he still managed to dial in his well-known improvised acting skills at a critical moment.
One pathetic loser.
Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber. It's hard to forget Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels as the idiotic best buddies Lloyd Christmas and Harry Dunn in the comedy cult classic Dumb and Dumber. And with a duo like that, is it so hard to believe that the actors didn't stick to the assigned dialogue? There's a scene where the two knuckleheads pick up a hitchhiker and unleash a ton of crazy antics on the unsuspecting man. In the original script, the scene called for Carrey and Daniels to test the man's nerves over an argument about jelly beans. But instead, the two actors horsed around endlessly. This is the notable scene where Carrey asks, "Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?" Nick Frost and Simon Pegg in Shaun of the Dead. The 2004 Brit horror comedy Shaun of the Dead featured its share of British comedians, comic actors, and sitcom stars, leaving the script open for interpretation from the cast. That being said, there are several different versions of the scene where Nick Frost's character Ed attempts to cheer up Shaun, Simon Pegg, by telling stories about the pub's regulars. In the scenes, Ed describes the woman as an ex-porn star, and this was all supposedly made up on the spot. And as a result, we even get some genuine laughter from Pegg.
I'm pregnant?
With emotion?
Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd in Knocked Up. Judd Apatow's 2007 rom-com Knocked Up stars Seth Rogen and Katherine Heigl as two young adults facing the repercussions of a drunken one-night stand and an unintended pregnancy. The film also featured an improvised scene idea from Apatow's 2005 hit The 40-Year-Old Virgin. The scene involves Rogen's character Ben Stone taking a ride with Pete, played by Paul Rudd, where the two perform some hilarious back-and-forth banter. While the scene didn't make the movie, it was part of the DVD extras as a deleted bonus scene, and the improvised dialogue runs over 3 minutes. Paul Rudd and Michael Pena in Ant-Man. Marvel's Ant-Man is arguably one of the MCU's funniest superhero films, and it is largely due to the hilarious cast. The film stars Paul Rudd, Michael Pena, Judy Greer, Evangeline Lilly, and many more. And believe it or not, a majority of the star's scenes were improvised. Rudd revealed many of his scenes with Greer, who plays his ex, were improv, while Pena told Variety that about 50% of his scenes were improvised as well. Specifically, Pena and Rudd's scenes would need a rewrite, as the two would make the scene their own with the magic of improv. Bill Murray in Caddyshack. One of Caddyshack's most quoted scenes from the film is by Bill Murray's character, groundskeeper Carl Spackler. In the film, Murray mutters a story to himself about an unknown golfer winning the Masters, and he titles it The Cinderella Story. Unknown to many is that the entire scene was developed by the actor on the spot. In his 1999 book Cinderella Story: My Life in Golf, Murray said, "The Cinderella story was a spur-of-the-moment idea. Get me some flowers," I said. 4 rows of mums.
Half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Who's scruffy looking?
Harrison Ford in The Empire Strikes Back. Throughout the Star Wars films, Harrison Ford has played the cocky rogue Han Solo. In many of the films, we see his character as brash, arrogant, conceited, and overconfident. But there is one scene where we see some compassion. In the original scene in The Empire Strikes Back, before Han is placed in suspended animation, Leia confesses her love for him, and Han is supposed to reply with, "I love you too." However, George Lucas told Ford that it doesn't work, and thought he should say what he thought would be best. And with that, we get the simple reply of, "I know." Richard Castellano in The Godfather. The Godfather is a dark and gritty crime drama that follows a fictional New York mafia family. But one of the actors took it upon himself to add a bit of comedy to the script. In the scene where Peter Clemenza, played by Richard Castellano, heads out to have Paulie Gatto, played by John Martino, whacked, his wife also tells him to remember to pick up the cannolis. As a result, the murder takes place during the cannoli run. After Clemenza's henchman takes care of Gatto, the mafia man instructs his lackey to
Leave the gun.
Technical only.
And just like that, the slight tweak and improvised line of humor created a very memorable moment in the movie. Jeremy Renner in Avengers Age of Ultron. The Marvel Cinematic Universe really made an incredible movie with Avengers Age of Ultron. Fans were introduced to new characters and it laid the foundation for the Civil War storyline. Aside from all the action and drama, it had some hilarious scenes, in particular with Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. He and Quicksilver, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, had a somewhat love-hate relationship and often had back-to-back banter. In one scene, Quicksilver speeds away and taunts Hawkeye, leaving the archer to draw his bow and take aim at the speedster, quietly saying, "Nobody would know. Last I saw him, Ultron was sitting on him." The line was one of the funniest in the film, and one that Renner came up with all on his own. Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy. In 2014, when James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy was released, many fans of the Marvel movies were introduced to a plethora of new heroes. And while these characters are well known to the comic book world, moviegoers left the theaters a bit confused. Gunn and Chris Pratt decided to have some fun with the character's obscurity. The scene in question is when Peter Quill is first captured and he is disappointed that no one recognizes the name of Star-Lord.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
The scene, surprisingly, was improvised and was a nice way for the audience to empathize with the character about his unimportance. Those are our picks for 10 hilarious movie scenes that were totally made up on the spot. Do you know of any other improvised scenes that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun videos like this one. Thanks for watching!